Hey everybody, I was out this morning working in the yard, weeding. We're having another open house on Sunday, so I wanted to get ready for that. And I saw so many pretty flowers that I wanted to put into an arrangement. So I'm going to give y'all some tips. I'm going to show you some little tricks that can keep your flowers to last longer. And I'm going to use one of my favorite vases, milk glass vases. So I hope y'all enjoy. First tip is when you have a vase, you need to know the height of it, and this one is about 12 to 15 inches. And so the tallest flower in your vase needs to be at least 30 inches. So, and then you can fill in with shorter flowers all the way around and build it up. So make sure when you're cutting your flowers that you have the ones that you want to be the tallest to have the longest stems. And if you have to cut them off later on, that's an easy thing, but you can't grow a stem. So just remember that. Okay, I have these beautiful hydrangeas. They're kind of at the end of their cycle. They started out pink and then they turned green, but they're still beautiful to put in an arrangement. So I'm going to cut long stems of these so that they'll have a little height in my vase. And one trick, and I'm going to cut one for you, for hydrangeas, is when you cut them, they soak up water through their petals as well as their roots. And so you ought to submerge the whole entire flower as soon as you cut it and make sure the stem and the floral part is down in the water. And just let it sit there while you're outside cutting the rest of your florals so that it can soak up as much moisture as possible. And there are other flowers that do this too. I did not know this about roses. You can also do that with roses, but I don't do roses. I don't like things with thorns, but peonies work well with that, and even orchids soak up water through their petals. Another tip, I put this one in here, and it does have a bad spot, but I'm going to show you something when I arrange how we can hide that, and it will still look gorgeous in the arrangement. I'm going to be clipping some of this coleus, and this is a great plant to root, which means it'll easily grow roots, and then you can pot it and put it in a different pot outside if you want to. And it is a great filler, and it comes in a ton of colors. I think I have about 6 different varieties. But a tip also, when you're cutting for an arrangement, make sure, just like I have this thing of water out here, when you cut, make sure you put your stems immediately in the water. Now coleus you don't want to put all the way like your hydrangeas. You just want to put the tip of the stem. And again, I'm going to get one of these in the back so that it doesn't mess up the front of my. Then you're just going to stick it in the water until you're ready, and then you can carry all of this inside and go to your kitchen sink, a bathroom, or somewhere like that, and then I'm going to show you how to put it all together. So let's cut some more flowers. This philodendron is gorgeous, but obviously these leaves are way too big for my vase. But if we dig down in here, we can find, that one's got a bad spot on it, but we can see there's a pretty one right there. So I'm going to clip these smaller leaves, and they'll be a good base, a good filler down in the base of the vase. Okay, I have a lot of greens. I went and cut a little bit of yarrow, which is really pretty. It has gorgeous feathery leaves. I got several of my philodendron, but we need some color. So I'm going to go find some pretty caladiums. We're going to add this into the mix to get a little bit more color. Okay, I have gathered a large assortment. I've got different types of ivy. I've got some purple heart. I have some eucalyptus, several different types of coleus. I already showed you my yarrow, my caladiums, philodendrons, and of course we're not going to put all of this in this vase, but at least we have something to start with, and we can always fill up some other vases to put around the home. Okay, before I get started, I've got my original vase, got my bin full of flowers and florals, and then I added some extra bowls for the extra, because everything's not going to fit in that vase. So I wanted to have some extra bowls to keep things separated, and then I've already filled up some pretty little, I've got a mason jar, a little tiny creamer. That one is actually from Venice, Italy. And there is one of my grandmother's creamers. And we'll add all the extra flowers that we have left over, and I can just set those all around the house. Your height doesn't necessarily have to be a flower. And again, this is not really tall enough. Like I said earlier, it should be at least twice the height of your vase. Some people say 1.5 times the height of your vase. So this is a little short to be your height. And unfortunately, I didn't have any flowers outside that are that tall. So I'm going to be using just some greenery to give the height. And I'm going to cut some pieces of this out, and then we'll fill it in with all the other flowers. I cut this piece of tree, I guess it's a bush or something, but I took off the leaves right here so that they won't be soaking in the water, because that'll make your leaves will start to rot and your water will turn green and it stinks and it's very nasty. So that'll help it last longer. All right, now you can see we have the height. So now it's just a matter of filling in the other beautiful flowers that I have. I'm going to start with the larger pieces, the hydrangea. Remember, I've soaked them, and I'm just going to take off these bottom leaves. And I'm hoping that it'll even root while it's in the water. That would be great too. And we'll just see later on, we might need to take these leaves off because it might be too much, but we'll just see. So literally, all you're going to do is I'm going to stick this in the front because that one is just so pretty. I'm taking some of this yarrow white, and you can see how pretty the leaves are. They're like ferns. And I'm going to leave it in this bunch like this. Again, just stick it. And you cannot make mistakes. And because if it visually doesn't look good, you just move things around until it does. Here's a beautiful caladium. This one is called Frog in a Blender. I guess you can see why. And we're going to stick this, let's see, we'll just stick it kind of like that. You want your yarrow to still be showing. All right, we need a little bit of color. All we have is yellow and whites and greens. So I'm going to add in some pinks and some purples. Okay, here is some coleus. Got this pretty with the burgundy leaves. And then this one has some pink, some yellow. I've taken all the leaves off the stems. And we're just going to stick it in the back to add a little color. And I see that this needs to come in the front because you can't really see the colors. And it's actually, see, it's overpowering the yarrow right here. So I'm going to just clip this stem. If I see, there are my clippers. I'm going to just clip this stem so it's shorter. And I'm going to stick it so it goes down in the front. And I'm going to pull the yarrow up front so it gives a little bit of color. It's starting to look good. But you see, we need something right here. So I have a really tall piece of purple heart. So I'm going to stick that in the back. Starting to look really good. It's like a purple and green ivy. And I'm going to stick this in the bottom. It already actually has some roots growing. But I'm going to clip off these leaves right here so I can stick it down into the vase. Because you want it to kind of spill out. You can bend it a little bit, which is fine. Might even make it shorter. I'll clip all the little leaves on the bottom. Actually, this one is longer there. And then I'll have this shorter piece. I'm going to stick that down in here and have it spill over. The best thing to do is just step back and look at it. And I think it still needs something right here. And I'm going to see if I have something tall enough. Eucalyptus in there. That's pretty. I still would like a flower though. I think that, let me move this one up here. And I'm going to kind of twist the yarrow just a little bit so I can fit this caladium in here. That looks pretty darn good, I think. And I only stopped this video just a couple of times so I could grab a couple of pieces. And probably I would shorten maybe this one, which I'll do right now. But this literally does not take hardly any time at all. And look how beautiful. And it looks like a professional. And I am no professional. So anybody can do this. Just grab some stuff out of your yard. And if you don't have anything out of your yard, when you get flowers at the grocery store, don't just stick the whole stem in the vase. Stick the largest flower in first, and then cut the stems and alternate them in different heights, and it'll look like you got it at the florist.